That microphone does work, Scott, but I don't know if we need it. I don't think we need it in a small group like this, but it's entirely up to you whether you want to use the microphone or not. Okay? Listen, we got your answers to our questions. We appreciate how much you worked on to give it to us, but we'd like to go into it a little bit. There's some of the things that we just want to get more detail on, if you don't mind.
No, sir.
Okay, no curveballs, nothing like that. Just
Mr. President, just one quick question. Will I be making a closing statement?
absolutely. Make an opening statement if you like, and we'll give you a closing one too. Go right ahead, please. Tell us about yourself, the people that might not know you, and so forth. Please.
Good evening, brother and sister officers. It's a pleasure to be here. Most of you know me. For those of you who don't, my name is Scott Everio. I come to you tonight with 30 years of law enforcement experience. I'm a former police chief of North Bay. I did the first 25 years of my career with the city of Fort Lauderdale. I'm the battle-tested leader that this agency is looking for. I'm a former SWAT commander, dive bomb, community policing. Every high liability unit was entrusted to me. I have an exemplary record. I've never been disciplined, and I have been in the fray. So regardless of what you might read on blogs where people can hide under the cloak of anonymity, I have an exemplary record. I want to leave here today with everyone understanding that. Moreover, my most important job is as a dad. I'm the father of triplets. My wife Susan is here with me today. I'm a high school football coach today. I'm a Brian Piccolo Award winner. My passion is working with young people, keeping young people out of jail. I know a lot of you. I look forward to working with you. I say this humbly. I will be the next sheriff of Broward County, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Godspeed to you all, and may every shift you have, may you come back safely. Thank you very much.
Okay. Do they teach you to stand up and do that when you get you want to do it on your closing too? Well, no problem. Scott, on the first answer you gave us about you will negotiate fair and unchanging contracts and it will eliminate the consultant fees paid to former employees. Can you give us an idea of what you mean by that? Make us aware of these consultant fees we're not aware of. How much money are we talking about here? Do we have any idea?
I don't have the exact number, Mr. President. No, I don't. I know that there are retired colonels and majors and command staff from the Broward Sheriff's Office that are listed on documents that I have seen that receive consulting fees after they retire from the Broward Sheriff's Office. The way I grew up and the way I would like to see things done, Mr. President, is when you retire, you have a retirement party. We wish you a lifetime of collecting pension checks. We wish you health and happiness. You may get your plaques and your gifts, but the way to do it, sir, is to bring in the next wave of leaders, and they take over, and the lieutenant becomes a captain, the sergeant becomes a lieutenant, you make promotions, and those who retire go on to greener pastures and are no longer maintained to consult. That's left for new people.
Okay, appreciate it. Number two, getting along with the county commissioners. We talked about the current sheriff on a number of budget as well as other issues. What other issues are what other issues are we talking about there?
Well, one other issue that comes to mind is there was a county commissioner whose deceased husband was investigated by the Broward Sheriff's Office. This was not the right way to do business. It was meant to help one candidate over another. There is divisiveness, in my opinion, and I have wonderful working relationships with many of the county commissioners, and I think those relationships that I've built over the last 30 years could be nothing but fruitful to this very body and this agency.
Okay. Do you have any of the county commissioners, any of them have endorsed you by chance?
No.
Okay. Okay. Just a question.
Many of them support me, but if you're talking about formal endorsement, no.
Okay. Okay. Under the seniority issue, okay, I think the big hang up right now with is going to be the districts. And you're saying you'd be the first sheriff of Broward County history to allow deputies to select district assignments.
I am saying that, yes, sir.
Okay. But individual contracts with these cities that the sheriff's office has Some of them have issues in there or lines in there saying it has to be approved by the city manager, assignments or someone coming in or going out. How would you get past that?
Well, obviously, a contract's a contract, and I'm not trying to circumvent a contract. A legal document is a legal document. What I'm saying is I would handle it the same way one handles a line item budget. After all the contracts are assigned and after the round plugs are in the round holes, there are going to be X amount of patrol positions in this county eligible or that must be worked by the Broward Sheriff's Office. Whatever the amount is, these positions are the same amount of positions as there are road patrol deputies. We bid in order of seniority. Pompano, 3 to 11. First guy, days off, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, whatever they are, and you bid. So it's called shift pick, like many of the cities, Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale. We've operated our whole lives like that. It's a positive way to make sure that the men and women who don't want to take promotional exams are not for everyone. Some people want to go to work, do their job, and I hope everybody in here, you know, I don't mean to preach, but I'll make sure that as sheriff, one of the first things I say is, it's not about this job. This job is second. I hope all your families and the people you love come first. Because when it's all said and done and this job is over, those are the only people you have. But I want to make sure if you want date night with your wife on Friday, or you want to coach Pee Wee football Saturday and Sunday, you can build your schedule around that. I'll also be the first sheriff to make sure that I voluntarily, President Brickman, open up the contract voluntarily and make sure that no member of the Broward Sheriff's Office can, if disciplined, that they would get transferred from shift. I would never punish a family. You have to discipline someone, you discipline them. If it's a day off, it's a day off. If it's a positive discipline and they have to go to training, they have to go to training. But I would never transfer a man or woman to a different shift and punish a family because they made a mistake at work.
Appreciate it. A lot more detail than I thought it was going to be, Scott. Scott, this is the question on subsidizing law enforcement contracted cities. Certain cities are having trouble with their finances and so forth. You know, you answered the question that you're obligated to assist those cities. But the last line you put in there was, these added funds will go directly to the salaries and benefits of the membership. If a city like, you know, a certain city doesn't pay their bill, and then they finally do, say a year later, doesn't that money have to go back to the county? I mean,
it's my understanding that after speaking with probably just about every county commissioner, there is the old saying that once the sheriff is awarded the money and the budget's approved, it's the sheriff's money to do what he will with that funding. What I'm trying to say, and perhaps I need to be clearer, is all recaptured money that we have written off that comes back, I will do everything within my power. If it has to go to the county, it has to go to the county. But any money that's recaptured and stays within the framework of the Broward Sheriff's Office will go back to the membership.
Okay. Now on the insurance. First of all, we agree totally with you when you say a permanent health insurance committee that we would be part of. We believe in that 100%, that the employees should be part of any committee that deal with insurance. But you talk about offering more choices. And what we've been told, and not only by the sheriff's office, but by other people in the industry, if you go to more choices, it's going to cost more money. We don't want our premiums to go up any higher than they are now. Is really going to more choices better than having higher premiums, or would you rather have the premiums you have now with one choice?
I'm saying have more choices before you sign that contract. Have the committee explore 4, 5, 6 different insurance plans and come back with what I'm saying is you can't take I don't know how many people are here today that are disappointed with Coventry. I would think I get as many calls per week as any member of this agency. I know that the majority of this agency is very disappointed with the current health insurance. And not only did the sheriff drop the ball by affording you just Coventry, that's egregious. I mean, it's almost insulting. One plan without exploring any others. I mean, is a plan that's best for a 25-year-old single person, best for a 48-year-old married person with 3 children? Shouldn't we be exploring different options? I mean, you know, just exploring it at least. And I think the thing that probably bothers me the most is the fact that when Coventry was selected, I think a lot of people here thought that they would be able to be part of a committee that would hear the problems. That, you know, every insurance company, you know, we all make mistakes. I make mistakes. So shouldn't there be a committee being fed feedback? You know, Detective Poole was unhappy with this based on, you know, and reevaluate and always reinvent ourselves. You know, we do that in everything we do. You know, what's best on Saturday afternoon to play one team, you want a different game plan for another team. So you need to keep reevaluating it, and I would like to see options, you know, for the rank and file and the entire department. I think that's important.
I don't know if you're aware or not now, but you're talking about going self-insured. Can you use your opinion on that?
Yeah, my opinion is everybody you talk to in the health insurance business telling you it's one of the worst industries to be in right now. And now we're going to undertake in 2014 to go self-insured. I mean, I want to talk to actuaries, and I would do a lot of investigating and a lot of reading and a lot of listening. You know, I think the best leaders, I think what makes me an exceptional leader is the best leaders are the best listeners. We all know that from just going to work each day. But clearly,
On the self-insured, yeah.
Right now, I would say it's probably not a good thing to do. I'm open to it, but I would think that the Broward Sheriff's Office should stay away from the insurance business and get into the business of police work, detention, firefighting, and you know, administrative and things like that.
Okay, on the question about the economic climate in the legislative bodies, about reducing budgets and so forth, you talked about, you put it into sweetheart deals. You know something we don't know?
Well, I know that recently this agency had a lieutenant, I believe a lieutenant, that was charged criminally with what we might call double dipping. I've been told by many members of this agency that this was done by other people that instead of receiving the same investigation and penalty as the lieutenant, have been able to cash in their vacation, leave early, being treated differently because of who they are. That's what I refer to as sweetheart deal.
Okay. And on the last line, it says, I feel that taxpayer money should only be used to pay the person who is currently doing the job. I hope you're not talking about our retirement benefits that we get here. That
No, I'm talking about consultant fees, sir.
Okay. Okay. Give me a minute on my notes, please.
I get a pension myself.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm against pension reform.
The other thing was the option regarding health insurance, and you talked about that, and you know, I just want to emphasize, re-emphasize that we've been told that you know, when you have options, if you have different insurance companies, if you have multiple insurance companies giving you insurance, you're going to pay more. If one company has it all, you're going to get a better rate. You know, so I just want to make sure we understand each other. When you say options, is that options within the insurance plan itself that you're referring to?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And another thing that I'd like to do, and you know, I would like to explore the possibility of having every county worker, just as another option, something else to look at, another tool to put in our toolbox, having every county worker come together So whatever the size of the Broward Sheriff's Office is, we double it or triple it. And imagine going to an insurance company and instead of saying we have 1,500 people, maybe we have 5,000, maybe we have 7,000. Imagine the possibility of being able to reduce the premium or co-payment or something like that.
Okay. I covered most of your questions, gentlemen. Ladies. Good? Must have been good. You got a closer.
I do, sir.
You want to stand? You may stand.
No, it's it.
Whatever.
Fraternally, I say this to this body. For those of you who know me, my dad was a lifelong police officer, 45 years. If he were alive, he'd be so proud of me being here before this body. It meant so much to myself and my family to get the Police Benevolent Association endorsement in the primary. I look at you humbly and I tell you I am very deserving of that same endorsement in the general election. This is the easiest body of people to speak to for me. Because I don't have to convince you of anything. You've lived the last 4 or 5 years with Al Lamberti. I say this to you as simple as it could be, to quote other politicians. If these 5 years were what you want, and you're reaching your goals, and you're achieving, and you're getting what you want out of this job, if you're coming to work and having fun, and you trust the command staff he built, you have no other choice but to vote for Al Lamberti. He can't come in here, nor could I, and tell you anything you don't already know. It's too easy to pick up the phone and call a Fort Lauderdale police officer or a North Bay officer that I work with and ask them, did Scott Israel really do this? Did he not do this? You know us both, or know people who know us both. So we can't come in here and say anything that you can't confirm. I'm a strong leader. I'm a PBA Chief of the Year. And anybody who knows John Rivera, he ain't a far throw for Dick Brickman. This is an honorable, decent president who made me Chief of the Year by taking a department that was in absolute turmoil, coming in as a change agent, and taking a 1%, 1%, and 1% offer that was on the table and turned it into 15% over 3 years. I'm a leader who doesn't look to discipline. I look to positively reinforce, although I'm certainly capable of doing it. But I think the staff I build, if we have to discipline, the difference between my staff and the current staff is we're not going to like it and we're not going to enjoy it. We're there to help. Can you afford another 4 years of this sheriff? I hope the answer is no. I know the answer is no. This body is about labor. I get it. I understand that. It's about health benefits. It's about pensions. It's about salaries. But as a graduate of the FBI National Academy, and each and every one of you have filled out those surveys over the 10, 20, 30 years you've been police officers. And those surveys say, what is most important to you? You all know salary's not at the top, it's in the middle of the list. You know, an honorable command staff, fair internal affairs investigations, expeditious internal affairs investigations, a trust. These things are more important to us than our salaries. They affect our families because they affect our well-being. It's more than hats, green shirts, and tinted windows. You all know as well as I do that when the sheriff comes in here in 15 minutes, he's probably going to make you an offer in an election year. Shameful. And you know that offer is going to be so no surveys go out tomorrow and the sheriff doesn't have to read that maybe 70, 80% of this department, the same as the public that supported me when I just ran against Lou Grantee, the same percentage is going to endorse me from this department because the backbone of any department is patrol. and your deputies who go out there every night, they want me to be the next leader. And I hope the union reps, and I know you will, I know you'll take that very seriously, because you represent the membership, not yourselves. It's all about the membership. So you're going to get an offer of maybe 0, 2, and 2, and the caveat is going to be, don't let the surveys go out. Well, that's up to you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have a vote. But if I did, I want a leader who's going to build a different command staff. I would want a leader who's going to put men and women around you that look differently, think differently, and when these men and women walk the halls, they lead by example. They don't pass you over an outdated leadership book and tell you, read that, that's what it's all about. That's insulting and that's embarrassing. Do you want to continue where you have sergeants having to read, call the lieutenant calls the captain, or do you want an environment where men and women do things on their own, and if they make mistakes, we handle it, and we move forward? We need a road patrol that doesn't exist to support specialty units. We need to truly show that the most important person on this job is the man and woman who rides in that police car. They have to be put first. Ladies and gentlemen, when I become sheriff, first thing you do when you start up those police cars, those of you who are in patrol, check those lights and sirens, because we will be chasing bad guys, and we will be taking bad guys to jail, and we will have a crystal clear policy, not something vague that you have now. You'll know what felonies we can chase on, what felonies we can't. A restrictive, clear-cut policy. And finally, General Colin Powell says, ladies and gentlemen, that the best indicator to predict how a man or a woman, a football player, a baker, a cop, the general says the best indicator to predict how a man or a woman performs in the future is to analyze how they performed in the past. And if you think that a 4% raise over 3 years is going to change the leadership or lack thereof, you'd only be fooling yourselves. I'm here today, and for those, I see some spouses there. A couple of you might have heard me say it before, but here's what I stand for. You have a building right behind here, and if anybody's ever gone out and sat in the anteroom, you've seen the names of those men and women who are adorned on that wall. I'm here to become the next sheriff to do everything within my power to make sure that not one other name gets added to that list. In closing, I say this, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it's an honor to be here. My wife and I are privileged. I'll just tell you a little story. Many, many thousands of years ago, during the Peloponnesian Wars, a scribe was sent to the front lines to write about the composition of the army. There was no video, no TV. They had no idea what goes on. And one night the scribe was sitting by the fire, and he went over to the general. And he said, "General, tell me about the makeup of the army." And the general says, "For every 100 men they send me, 10 don't belong here. They're not qualified. They're not soldiers. 80 fight the fight. They're our army. They're our backbone. 9 are the warriors. They go to the gates of hell for the right reason. And myself, I'm the leader." And the scribe says, "General, what category are you in as a leader? One of the ones who shouldn't be there? A soldier or a warrior?" And the general says, "None of the above. My job is to bring the others home. And that's what I'll do with you each and every day. Work to bring you home with better benefits, better equipment, better technology, and better leadership." My name is Scott Israel. It's an honor to be here. God bless you all. Thank you.